This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 23 through 29. And it reads, And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee, until thou be destroyed. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall smite thee with the madness, and blindness, and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Alright, that's who this world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ in the ancient Paleo and Hebrew tongue. Next, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who teach real well and rule well, and oversees the tabernacle of David. Alright, peace and salutations to the sincere elect of Israel, scattered across the 4 corners of the earth, enduring in heaviness to push this truth and sincerity. Alright, to y'all, we like to say shalom.
Shalom.
Alright, this is Brother Eli, back with the Men of Israel camp with the
Donovan.
Alright, and we just coming back to y'all through the Spirit just to shed some light and some more understanding on what the hell is, you know, because as you seen in the part 1 of this lesson, man, Esau don't know what's going on, right? And it's to the point where Israel is so bugged out that they're taking anything that Esau says and they're using that as, well, Esau said it, so that must be the true way. That must be, you know, the true understanding. However, what you're about to see today, as we go precept upon precept, that the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, his heaven and his hell, is not set by Esau's standards nor by Esau's understanding. It's all set up through the understanding of the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And as it reads, this is Deuteronomy 28, verses 23 through 29. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee, until thou be destroyed. Right? So what is this this heaven that will be over their head as brass, and the earth is under them as iron? What is this all going into? It's going into slavery, right? Clean cut, simple, to the point. The Most High is telling his people, for their disobedience, for their stiff-necked and hard-headed ways and their deeds, they're going into hardcore bondage and slavery.
That's right.
That's exactly what they're going to be in until they be destroyed, right? And as we continue going, it's going to be plainly evident, right? In verse 25, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies, right? These are actual people who they're having dealings with around them. Right, the Most High is going to have Israel smitten before their enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. What is this further showing you? Israel is being scattered through the hand of their enemies. Right, that's slavery. As it says, thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. That's showing you how strong these heathen came to conquer Israel. The Most High gave them power and the ability to conquer his people and to punish them for their wicked ass deeds. That's what we're seeing. And that's why it says, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. The Most High didn't say, I'm sending y'all on a vacation. He didn't say, I'm sending y'all to just to go sightseeing. He said, I'm going to remove you into all the kingdoms of the earth, right? Keep reading. It says, verse 26, and thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. So not only will you be scattered and forced into this slavery and this hardcore bondage, but your body, your dead body, your carcass is actually going to be food for the birds in the sky, right? And the beasts of the earth. And like it says, and no man shall fray them away. Don't nobody give a damn about you Israelites in your captivity. They don't even care about your dead bodies enough to fan a damn crow away from your body, picking at your flesh. All right? That's what this is going into. The Most High is showing us that without him, we're nothing. Not even to the people around us. All right? As we keep reading, it says verse 27, how about Shem Yahshua will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. So if you understand the history of Israel already, you already know what happened to them in Egypt. They were in hardcore bondage and slavery still. So the Lord is saying he's going to smite you with that same plague again, right? To the point where you can't be healed. Because Israel was given some shed and some form of light after Egypt, right? They got led through the wilderness. Most of them died. However, that remnant that was brought out of the wilderness, they were able to continue and to see who their power was. Even though what we're still reading is that they fell off again. You know, that's what this is. It says verse 28, Yahweh Shem Yahshua shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Right? What is that? That's oppression, right? To the point where niggas is bugged out crazy, man. That's that madness. They don't know what the hell is going on. Why? Because they trusted in their enemies, the ones who are responsible for destroying their minds, right? And it says, and blindness and astonishment of heart. What is that blindness? That blindness is Israel not being able to have sight for the law, statutes, and commandments. Their eyes have been blinded. Their hearts have been blinded. And they can't see the law, statutes, and commandments. Therefore, will they not know who they are and who their God is and what they have to do to serve him in righteousness and in truth, right? And that's why it says an astonishment of heart. That's what that is. They don't know who the hell they are, know who their power is, know what's going on, right? And this is, like the scripture said, whereof thou canst not be healed. Israel still has not been healed even to this day, right? And that's what verse 29 goes into. Right? And thou shalt grope at noonday, right? As the blind gropeth in darkness. So through the Spirit, man, the Most High revealed to Moses that his people are so blind. They are as a blind man who can't see shit walking, and he's even in the dark. All right, there's no light around him. So that shows you how wicked and how off his people have gone, and will continue to go off until, like it says, at noonday, right? And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. So what is that showing us? That's showing us that Israel not only was oppressed, but they're still literally being oppressed. The Most High is telling them, you're going into slavery, several different slaveries. Just like what happened in Egypt, you can expect that to happen again, but worse, until your destruction forevermore. That's what it says. And no man shall save thee. All right.
Kind of just also to speak on that, I got a precept for you. If you go to Tobit, chapter 13, and we're gonna hit on verse 2 and 5. Verse 2 through 5.
All right. Okay.
All right, and it says, for he does scourge and have mercy. He leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. Now let me stop right there real fast just to speak on that. When it speaks on it, says he leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. First off, I know when some of y'all may be seeing this hell, y'all probably thinking how Christians like to say nowadays, hell is up under the earth and that's where you go when you die. You're wrong. That's not what that's saying. It's not saying that Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to bring you down there, then pull you back up, then bring you down there, then pull you back up. No, that's off. That's folly. What that's saying is he's bringing you in and out of a state of being, right? It's telling you he's bringing you in and out of a state of being. So that's what it's saying when it says, I will lead him down to hell and I will bring it up, because hell is a state of being.
And as we've already read, and as you keep reading, the state of being that Israel is being referred to being in is their slavery. It's right. It's not this eternal flame pit where some red man with a pitchfork and pointy tail and some shit in the tail is poking you on some, I got it all, I got you.
Right.
That's not at all what we're reading here, man.
Right. Just like the folly that you guys seen in part 1.
Yeah, it's a
that
fable,
all
it's a
was
story.
folly.
It's a it's a fable, man. It's a what do they call the made up stories? It's a certain word for it besides fable. I just said that. But either way, man, yeah, it's a fantasy. That's the word.
Kind of fantasy.
And it's not at all what the scriptures are talking about and going into.
Right. All right, and back at the verse, neither is there any that can avoid his hand. Verse 3, confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them.
So clearly this is not an inanimate creature who has captured us and we're under bondage under it. This is an actual nation of people on the earth, in the earth.
Multiple nations of people.
Exactly.
Multiple.
So how the hell is it this one man, the devil, Satan, has just this one creature that just has it out for us? Now we understand, like we're reading, the scriptures do have these certain words in here. However, if you don't understand what the Most High is talking about, you're gone, because you're gonna go off every wind of doctrine that you hear and that you've heard of. Chiefly Christianity, they're the ones to claim this book and have the understanding of this book, and they take it and they butcher every single precept in it. Every single one.
This verse 4, there declare his greatness and exalt him before all the living.
So, bro, that's a deep ass cut, because he said exalt him before all the living. I thought everybody was already dead in hell. So how the hell
they up underground? How
burned?
We gonna get to them?
Right.
We ain't dead.
Exactly.
That's how that further lets you know that all these philosophies that they have as far as hell is folly, because that's not what it is. It's not a burning place under the ground. If you want to be specific, hell is America. Hell is what we're on now.
That's what we're doing right now. Chiefly America. You right. You got that right, brother. Because out of all the bondages and captivities Israel has had to go through, America by far is the worst.
That is true.
Like the scriptures say, Babylon the Great. Right. Not just like ancient Babylon, nigga. This is Babylon the Great. She perfected wickedness in the earth. So
up under Esau.
Exactly. It is Esau. So trust and believe that this is, hell, as the scriptures explain.
Right? Back to the verse. For he is our Lord, and he is Yahweh our Father forever. Verse 5. And he will scourge us for our iniquities, and will have mercy again, and will gather us out of all nations among whom he has scattered us.
Right. So this state of hell, where he's leading us down and bringing us back up, and leading us down again and bringing us back up, is not some fiery pit under the earth, because he says he's going to gather us again. Like he said in verse 2, he's repeated in verse 5, he's going to gather us again from among the nations where he scattered us. So this is talking about these heathen nations who have their upper hand over us right now for our disobedience. Has nothing to do with some flames that I sound like a broken record already, but it's dumb as hell, man.
But that's how we gotta be for Israel, man.
Yeah, man. I can't tell you how many people watched part 1 and was like, man, that's deep. They own something.
Right.
No, you're done.
You're done.
And I found it's beautiful through the Spirit that I was able to find that clip too, because it shows you not even just Christianity's understanding of hell, it shows you all these other folly-ass religions and why they think what they think and how they know hell is someplace under the earth. You're
right.
Done. You're absolutely done. But
man, as a matter of fact, through the Spirit, I got another precept for you. We're gonna go to Deuteronomy chapter, 32, verse 20, and we're gonna go through verse 22. Hang on, I got you. Verse 32. God. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this out real fast. Here we go. Alright, and it says, and he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no faith. Verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vengeance.
Their vanities.
Vanities. I'm sorry about that. With their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth for her increase, and set on fire the foundation of the mountains.
God. So that's a beautiful verse too. It basically explains that, throughout everything that the Most High has got going on, he's showing us that he's doing it because he's pissed off with his people, right? And that's why he says, I will select for a fire is kindled in mine anger and shall burn into the lowest hell. What is he talking about? He's talking about how he's going to punish his people so bad they're not even going to see hell itself. They're going to get to see even the lowest hell, right? Which means, yes, I'm bringing you into slavery, but trust and believe you're going to see the worst that I have for you, right? Which is like the brother said through the Spirit, which was beautiful. It's America. That's what the prophets can see, and that's what the prophets understand today. Let me see. And it says, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. So that's showing not only is he punishing his people, but he's also gonna punish these nations as well that he scattered them amongst, right? So it says, and shall consume the earth with her increase. It's talking about how the 2/3 of Israel will die in this lowest hell. That's what it's talking about. And set on fire the foundation of the mountains, right? What is the foundation of these mountains? These other nations, who do they chiefly look up to and follow? Esau, Edom, which happens to be America, Babylon the Great. That's their foundation. So trust and believe that Babylon the Great will be destroyed, which is the children of Israel's lowest hell, right? Esau will be taken out of power, and only that 1/3 with the 144,000 will be redeemed out of the earth in righteousness only. All right, and just to prove that the Most High is the one responsible for doing all this, is not by happenstance or by coincidence. It's all the Most High is doing. And it says, verse 39, see now that even I am he, right? This is Yahweh speaking. And there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So, and that's Yahweh, but that's also Yahweh Shem Yahushai speaking, because Yahushai is the representative who the Most High is sending down to the earth to enforce his judgment, right? His righteous judgment in the earth. And neither is there any that can deliver out of his hand. Which means what? Everything Yahushai sets forth to do when he returns to the earth, which is to redeem his people and to give Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the so-called white woman and child, that entire nation, their judgment. All these other nations have judgment following as well, which is slavery. It's what they all have to look forward to because of the hand that they've played on the downfall of Israel, right? Because if all these other nations didn't exist, Israel wouldn't have had temptation around them to go off. But that was all the Most High's perfect will, having those temptations around, just to show how strong he is in his mercies and his grace, right? But at the same time, I want to go ahead just to show you that this state is not something that happened by accident. At the same time, it's not a state that can only be applied to Israel, because like I said, it is the Most High's doing, and in him doing this, he shows that hell is not what's the word I'm looking for? Hell is not particularly just for one person or one people. Hell is a state of being, like the brother said, right? When you're low and when you're being oppressed and in captivity and bondage, that is hell. And what we're about to read is that very thing. This is Psalms chapter 9, verse 13 through 20. It reads, have mercy upon me, O Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Consider my trouble which I suffer of them that hate me. right? So keep in mind, it's gonna be your enemies who physically responsible for putting you in slavery. And some of y'all gonna be like, well, if the Most High is in control of everything, is he our enemy? You're damn right. As the scriptures say, he hides his face from his people when they go off. That's because that means he has become their enemy. Once they turn their backs on him, he's gonna do the exact same thing. So yes, that's the answer to your question. He does hate you. And continue reading, it says, thou that liftest me up from the gates of death, right? What are the gates of death? It's literally these other nations, right? Like there's a precept, I believe it's in Proverbs, he that wandereth from the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead, roughly paraphrasing. Basically saying what? If you don't have true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in you, you're dead, right? And that is these heathen nations. They don't have the understanding of these laws, statutes, and commandments. So they are, for lack of better terms, the walking dead, literally. So when it says, thou that liftest me up from the gates of death, it's talking about having mercy, relieving us from this captivity, from this bondage, from them that hate us, which are these heathen, chiefly Esau. Verse 14, that I may shew forth all thy praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. See, showing you that these gates are referring to people and nations, because this particular gate that we want to give praise for are the gates of Zion, which is Israel, Jerusalem. It says, I will rejoice in thy salvation. The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. What the heck is that saying? Oh, that's beautiful. The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. The heathen set up slavery for Israel. Now guess what? They fall in that pit themselves. Now they get to go into slavery.
Double
right?
cup.
And the double the cut kind. It says, and the net which they hid is their own foot taken. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is known by the judgment which he executed. Just further proving the point of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the one that is doing this. And when it happens, you'll know without a shadow of a doubt that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the one responsible. It says, the wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Haggayan Salah. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget Yahweh. So clearly you see that hell is not, it doesn't have a preference. If the Most High is pissed at you, you're going to hell.
You're dying.
Literally, you're going into slavery.
That's right.
That's exactly what it's saying. And the wicked, the people, Esau, they're going to be turned into hell for their hand in Israel's downfall and their persecuting of the Israelites. They're going to be turned into hell. So for y'all Christians, break that down. How is a person going to be turned into hell if hell is a place underground?
I'll wait.
Right.
I'll wait.
Big time. And all the nations that forget Yahweh shall be turned into hell. So explain that. Verse 18. For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. So who are the poor? These so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? They are the poor. Israel is in the lowest state in this earth, which is why the Lord said that his anger shall burn unto the lowest hell. The fire shall burn to the lowest hell. So it's basically, we're seeing that same spirit continue throughout these scriptures. The Most High did not slip up and say something he didn't mean. And then it says in verse 19 and 20, arise, O Yahweh Shem Yahushai, let not man prevail, let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Put them in fear, O Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Salah. So what is that showing us, man? That no matter what anyone does, the heathen are still going to be judged and Israel is still going to be saved, right? So that, like it says, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Because chiefly Esau, Edom, they are some of the most prideful creatures and creations in the earth today. All right, as the scripture says, they're going to perish with their pride. This is why. And once they do, the other nations are going to know and be like, damn, I'm just this dust. Right. You know, I'm nothing. That's right. Exactly what they're going to see. It's going to be evident in that day and that time. And
as a matter of fact, brother, I got another precept for you.
All right.
We can go to Genesis 2, verse 6.
Okay.
Let's get there real quick.
Bet, we got you right here.
All right. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground.
Kind, that's beautiful. And the reason that's such a cut to these false ideologies of hell is because if hell is this burning flame, this burning place under the ground, how is water coming up from the earth?
Right.
How? If that's where all the fire is, how is water coming from?
How is it those days? You know how when brothers wake up, when Jakes wake up, and they come out and it's real foggy outside,
Exactly.
and it's a whole misty and stuff. How is it like that?
Exactly. It don't just pop out of thin air.
It really don't.
It don't. Like Esau tried to teach.
Right.
Esau
And if you're
teach
still
that.
following Esau teachings, you're dying.
Kind. Exactly. A big kind. That was a beautiful verse.
Kind, man.
And that's a clean cut. And most people don't know that that's where mist actually comes from either. They just think that actually I don't know what the hell y'all think at this point, but I do know that water, even from during the flood, the water came from not only from the heavens, but the water came from underneath the earth. How is that possible if only a hell is underneath the earth? This burning pit of fire, literally. It's a cut. It's a big cut. Alright, so that leads us to this next quick point. I want to bring up this example. It's Jonah chapter 2, verses 1 through 2.
I'll bring it up for you, brother.
Alright.
Alright, it says, Then Jonah prayed unto Yahweh Shema Shah his power out of the slack. I'm gonna start that all the way over. I'm slacking. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his power out of the fish's belly, slacking, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto Yahweh Shema Shah, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice.
Exactly. So Jonah, right, a man of Yahweh Shema Shai, although in this passage, if you're familiar with the story, he was actually fleeing Nineveh because the Most High sent him to Nineveh to tell the people he's going to destroy it for their wickedness. And he was like, nah, I can't do that. And he decided to run off, get on the ship and run off. And the Most High sent a huge storm in the water, and the men were like, we don't know why this is happening. We don't know why this is going on. Jonah, he knew in his spirit, in his heart, that he was wrong. He was like, this is my power. Yahweh Shema Shai, he's punishing me because I didn't do what he told me to do. And they was like, so what do you want to do? Jonah was like, man, I'm about to just... Jonah said, throw me overboard. And the men were like, nah, we're not about to throw you overboard. What do you mean? Jonah said, I bet. And he jumped over, right? But what's crazy is the Most High sent a fish, right, that was prepared for Jonah, and the fish swallowed Jonah up. And Jonah was in the belly of this fish for 3 days. Literally 3 days. And so what Jonah describes is, he actually says, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto Yahweh Shema Shai, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I. So Jonah said, we know, according to the story, he's in the middle of a fish. Jonah said he's in hell. So for you Christians,
Wait, he was underground.
that's exactly what I'm saying. For you Christians, according to y'all understanding, he was burning.
Yeah.
He was with Satan under the earth, burning in flames. Although he just said, out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. What belly? The fish's belly, as it said.
Belly.
So how do you explain that?
That goes to further let you know that the true definition of hell is a state of being.
Exactly. It's a form of bondage, being kept somewhere and you can't get out. For lack of better terms, that's basically what this is.
It's not a burning pit under the earth, man.
Kind.
It's not a burning pit, man.
Big kind. And that's really what we're trying to communicate to y'all, that the Most High explains to us, if you actually pay attention to prophecy and the historical context of the Old Testament and the things that are being fulfilled in the New Testament, you understand completely what the hell is. You understand this is evident, completely clear. Even when Yahweh Shai, who this world ignorantly calls Jesus, when he walked the earth, he was in bondage and in captivity. Right? Because who was on the throne? Caesar was on the throne. Were they in Israel? No, they weren't. So how was he ruling, right? How was he free? Which is what he should have been.
And through the Spirit, I just was thinking as the brother was speaking, and if you truly want to think about it, Yahweh Shah was in hell because he was in a state of being when he was being crucified.
Yeah.
When he was put up, when his own people put him up, gave him away, they cast him out.
Exactly.
They said, "No, take him."
Exactly.
Think about it. Yahweh Shimei Shah was going through that slogging. I mean, just Yahweh Shah. When Yahweh Shah had to endure and go through what he had to go through when Israel gave him up. He was going through what? Hell.
Exactly.
That lets you know for certainty that it's not nothing underground. It's a state of being.
And this on that note too, since you mentioned Yahweh Shai being offered up, that boy, y'all Christians about to piss me off for real. So according to y'all understanding, Jesus went to hell after he died.
Right.
So y'all claim that a perfectly innocent man, because y'all don't think he ever sinned. Y'all just think he just died. He died. So give me his blood. That's what y'all Christians know. But y'all believe he went to hell. Who brought him back out of hell? If according to you, he is God and the only God, who when he went to hell, who was he serving Satan while he was in hell?
Right.
Because apparently you're saying he followed Satan. Satan said, when you die, you come into the burning lake, and he went.
Right.
So what's really going on? That's confusing as hell.
It makes no damn sense.
Exactly. Now, this hell that we're bringing out through the Spirit power of Yahweh Shimei Shai is that context of this hell is talking about the situations he and his people had to live through in the earth, which has always been evident.
That's right.
That's why he had to come, so that he could free his people from this state in the earth and give them true peace and life in the earth. That's what this is all about. Now, you got this final verse I'm about to bring out through the Spirit that basically shows you why people are afraid of this flame that's gonna come and that's gonna devour them, right? And it is something that's gonna happen, but Christians have their minds warped around this ideology that it's gonna happen to them under the earth, right? Because they don't believe in Jesus. Well, we're gonna read what the Most High, according to them, God and Jesus, who we understand is Yahweh Shemel Shai, we're gonna understand what he says, his whole intent for gathering all people to him. All right, in this book is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. It's a pretty well-known verse. However, it's butchered in understanding. So we're going to bring it back out through this topic. And it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations." So yes, for you Christians, yes, for y'all, you other, whatever you want to call yourselves, who believe, oh, God is for all. He's for all people, no matter where you come from. He is actually trying to gather and assemble all the nations, right? And let's see why. It says, "For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." Wait, no. Beneath the earth shall be devoured with the fire of his jealousy.
That ain't what he said.
No, that's not what he said.
That ain't what he
said.
said.
For all the earth, was talking about what the parts that we're literally walking on, that we can see that people inhabit and that they live. Because he said he wants to pour out his fierce indignation on these people, these nations, these kingdoms.
That's right.
So that means it's gonna happen to you while you're alive, when you're walking in the flesh. Literally.
Beautiful point.
So this is not a time period that's happening after you die, because it's the time period that causes you to die, right? Even though, like I said earlier, you're already spiritually dead, you have no life in you. However, the Most High is going to take your flesh away from you as well. That's what this is going into. He wants to, like he says, devour the earth with the fire of his jealousy. So, you got something you want to say on that, brother?
Man, brother, I just want Israel to hurry up and wake up, brother, because myself, and I know my Akims, that's also a part of us in the Men of Israel camp, and I'm pretty sure the other brothers in GMS and everybody in our apostles and elders, we want the rest of Israel that need to be woken up to wake up so we can go. Because it's time to go, man. We need to get our people out of this foolish state, man.
We're ready for the.
We need y'all.
Up,
that's the reason why the brothers, why we push so hard, we're pushing out, some more videos, some more edifying videos, and some more truth for other brothers who's out there trying to seek the true hopeful and sincere elect and the 1/3, because we're ready to go.
Big time. Yeah, man, that's beautiful. With that, we hope this lesson was edifying. Through the Spirit and power by Shem Yahshua. And with that, we're gonna end it. Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, Ba'Shem Rakakadash, Wa Adab Baba, Death to America.